In the vast panorama of human existence, men and women often wander as though blindfolded, believing themselves subject to the whims of fate, fortune, or circumstance. They accept limitations, failures, and sorrows as inevitable and imagine that their destiny is fixed by external conditions. Yet within the mind of every individual lies a force of extraordinary power, a treasure greater than gold, a light brighter than the sun at noon, and this force is thought. It is the creative principle, the invisible architect, the primal cause from which all events, conditions, and experiences emerge. When rightly understood and directed, thought becomes the master of destiny, the guide to health, prosperity, success, and happiness. Every thought is a seed. Every seed carries within it the potential to produce after its kind. If fear, doubt, or despair occupies the mind, the harvest will be weakness, failure, and suffering. But if the mind is filled with courage, faith, harmony, and expectation of good, life responds with conditions and opportunities that reflect these qualities. This is not fanciful speculation, but an eternal and universal law, as constant and impartial as the law of gravity. The mind is a field, and its seeds bear fruit in proportion to the character of the thoughts sown. Thought is not merely vapor or idle imagination. It is substance, energy, and vibration. The currents of thought travel outward from the mind in invisible waves, influencing circumstances, attracting people, and shaping events. The individual who dwells constantly upon misfortune, failure, or sickness sets in motion currents that will inevitably return in kind. Conversely, the individual who fills his mind with images of health, strength, success, and harmony creates an inner magnet that draws favorable circumstances and helpful conditions toward him. Life, reflecting the mind, responds to the habitual character of thought, is the simple yet profound principle upon which the law of mental attraction operates. Fear attracts fear, doubt draws obstacles, resentment invites conflict. Courage calls forth strength, faith draws opportunity, love generates harmony. The law is impartial, neither rewarding virtue nor punishing vice, but responding faithfully to the vibrations sent forth by the mind. This is why some individuals seem continually pursued by misfortune while others, equally challenged by circumstance, appear to attract opportunity and favor. The difference lies not in external conditions, but in the quality of thought, and the mastery of the mind at it is of supreme importance. Therefore, to guard carefully the inner sanctuary of thought. Allow no destructive images, fears, or doubts to dwell within the mind. Replace them with affirmations of courage, health, harmony, and abundance. Every image held persistently in consciousness becomes a mental command to the subconscious, which works tirelessly to bring it into manifestation. The subconscious mind does not reason, argue, or resist. It obeys faithfully the impressions made upon it. Repeated affirmation of positive ideas strengthens the inner channels of energy, so that thought flows unobstructed toward constructive and beneficial results. Affirmation is the conscious exercise of mental power, the deliberate directing of thought to achieve a desired end. To declare, "I am strong," awakens reservoirs of strength that may lie dormant. To affirm, "I am at peace," aligns the mind and body with vibrations of harmony, drawing similar conditions into the sphere of experience. Affirmation is not mere repetition of words, but a living declaration of truth. Spoken with conviction, it impresses the subconscious and sets into motion the creative energies that shape circumstances. The wise student of mental science understands that every word spoken, every thought entertained, has the potential to create or destroy. Neglect leads to the manifestation of weakness, fear, and limitation. Vigilance leads to the cultivation of health, power, and success. Negativity, doubt, and fear are not real in themselves. They exist only where light is absent. When a fearful thought arises, do not struggle with it, for resistance gives it substance. Instead, turn your attention to its opposite. If doubt presents itself, affirm confidence. I am capable. I am guided. I am strong. If fear intrudes, affirm courage. I meet all conditions with calm strength. I am protected and directed by the infinite. If resentment appears, affirm love. I radiate harmony, goodwill, and understanding to all. By persistent replacement of negative images with positive ones, the mind gradually becomes disciplined. What was once a chaotic battlefield of conflicting emotions transforms into a garden of light, where only constructive thoughts flourish naturally. Health responds directly to thought. Every cell of the body vibrates in sympathy with mental currents. Fear, anxiety, and discouragement depress vitality, disturb nervous balance, and create conditions favorable to disease. Joy, hope, and faith stimulate the life forces, strengthen the immune system, and promote rapid recovery. Physicians themselves recognize that the mental state of a patient is a critical factor in healing. The student of positive thought learns to affirm daily, life flows through me. Every cell is vital and harmonious. I am strong, well, and full of energy. Such affirmations awaken latent healing powers, often accomplishing results beyond what external remedies can achieve alone. Prosperity, too, is subject to the law of thought. Poverty often originates more in belief than in external circumstance. The individual who dwells upon scarcity, fears lack, or complains of limitation effectively closes the channels through which supply might flow. He overlooks opportunity, repels helpful influence, and discourages potential allies. Conversely, the person who affirms abundance, who expects prosperity, and who radiates faith in the law of supply, draws to himself circumstances, people, and events that bring material security and success. Faith acts as a magnet, attracting resources from seen and unseen sources. Daily affirmation of abundance. I am prosperous. Supply flows to me easily. I create value and receive value. Aligns the mind with universal laws and produces tangible results. Success is dependent not only on talent, but on confidence. Many highly capable individuals fail because they doubt themselves, while those of moderate ability succeed because they act with faith and assurance. The world responds to the mental attitude displayed. Walk with certainty, speak with confidence, act as if success is already present, and life will rearrange itself in harmony with your inner conviction. Even before outward conditions conform, the seeds of achievement have been sown in the fertile soil of belief in individual lives to himself alone. Thoughts radiate outward, influencing those in proximity, and even extending beyond immediate perception. A cheerful, confident mind uplifts, strengthens, and inspires others. Conversely, a fearful or negative mind spreads discouragement and unease. By cultivating positive thought, one not only transforms personal experience, but also contributes to the elevation of others. Each kind thought, every word of encouragement, every act of love extends influence unseen, yet undeniably effective. The mastery of circumstance is achieved through persistent control of thought. As the mind becomes disciplined, the individual realizes that he is not at the mercy of events, but is their creator. By affirming health, abundance, and harmony, he shapes his environment to reflect these qualities. Challenges do not cease, yet their power over him diminishes. Trials become opportunities to demonstrate mastery. Obstacles become stepping stones, and difficulties serve to awaken latent faculties. The student discovers that external conditions are but mirrors of inner states. By changing thought, he changes reality. Positive thought is not an abstract theory, but a practical life to be lived daily. Begin each day with affirmations of strength, courage, and prosperity. Guard the mind from negative intrusions. End each day with gratitude, for gratitude itself is a potent form of constructive thought, attracting more of that which is praised. With persistence, positive thought becomes effortless, habitual, and joyful. Life grows brighter, opportunities multiply, health improves, and relationships flourish. Beyond personal benefit, the individual radiates an influence that uplifts all within his sphere, extending blessings silently yet powerfully. The greatest truth one may grasp is this: within thought lies the power to create destiny. The mind is a treasure greater than gold, a force mightier than any external power. Each thought, word, and affirmation contributes either to building or to obstructing the life one desires. To think positively, to affirm health, abundance, and harmony, to guard the mind and direct it constructively, is to align oneself with the infinite forces of the universe. It is to claim mastery over life, to awaken latent faculties, to attract opportunity, and to manifest joy, prosperity, and peace. Therefore, hold thoughts with care. Permit only those that are noble, constructive, and uplifting. Affirm daily the qualities you wish to see reflected in your life. Radiate strength, love, and harmony to all you encounter. Persist in the practice, and life will respond as faithfully as the law itself. Thought is power. Use it wisely. Guard it diligently. Direct it with purpose. And in so doing, you shall rise above limitation, overcome obstacles, attract abundance, and realize the full measure of your divine potential. The student of positive thought soon discovers that life is not a series of random events, but a living reflection of the mind. Every condition, every circumstance, every relationship is influenced by the quality of thought maintained. The world becomes a mirror, and the image reflected is the direct consequence of the inner life. Therefore, cultivate the mind carefully, fill it with noble ideas, guard it against negativity, and affirm daily the highest qualities you wish to embody. In this practice lies mastery, peace, prosperity, and joy. Thought, rightly directed, is the master key to the universe, the tool by which man shapes his destiny, and the source from which all success and happiness flow. That I end the journey of life. Most individuals wander as if blinded, believing that external conditions, fortune, or destiny govern their existence. They imagine themselves powerless, bound by circumstances, and often accept limitation, failure, and misfortune as inevitable. Yet, the enlightened student perceives a higher truth, that thought is the creative force of life, the master principle, the unseen architect of destiny. Within the mind lies a treasure of immeasurable value, a power greater than any external resource, capable of shaping events, attracting opportunity, and manifesting health, success, and happiness. It is through the mastery of thought that man rises above limitation and becomes the active creator of his circumstances. Every thought is a seed. Every seed carries the potential to bear fruit after its kind. If one dwells upon fear, doubt, or resentment, the harvest will inevitably consist of anxiety, failure, and sorrow. If, however, one cultivates thoughts of courage, faith, harmony, and expectation of good, life responds with experiences, relationships, and conditions that reflect these qualities. This is not fanciful speculation. It is a universal law, as impartial and unchanging as the laws of motion and gravitation. The mind, properly understood, is both garden and gardener, producing the conditions that result from its habitual cultivation. Thought is not idle or insubstantial. It is substance, vibration, and energy. Every idea held with persistence radiates outward, influencing circumstances, attracting individuals, and shaping events in conformity with its quality. The individual who habitually entertains images of illness, failure, or misfortune sets in motion mental currents that inevitably return in kind. Conversely, the one who fills the mind with images of health, strength, success, and harmony generates an inner magnet that draws favorable circumstances toward him. The universe responds impartially to the mental atmosphere created, reflecting outward what is held consistently within, like attracts like. is the simple yet profound principle governing mental attraction. Fear attracts fear, doubt attracts obstacles, resentment calls forth conflict. Courage generates strength, faith draws opportunity, love produces harmony. The law does not reward nor punish, it simply responds. What you consistently think becomes the condition you experience. Those who fail often do so not because of external limitations, but because they have cultivated negative thought, which has drawn to them the very conditions they fear. Those who succeed do so because they cultivate confidence, clarity, and faith, thereby attracting conditions conducive to their goals. Success depends not solely upon talent, but upon confidence. Many capable individuals fail because they lack faith in themselves. Others of moderate talent succeed because they act with assurance, conviction, and persistence. The world responds to mental attitude. One who carries himself with confidence inspires trust, cooperation, and assistance. By walking, speaking, and acting as though success is already present, the student of thought sets into motion currents that manifest achievement. Even before external circumstances conform, the seeds of success have been sown in the fertile soil of belief and expectation. One lives entirely to himself. Thoughts radiate outward, influencing those nearby and beyond. A cheerful, positive mind uplifts, inspires, and strengthens others. Conversely, a fearful or negative mind spreads discouragement, anxiety, and tension. By cultivating constructive thought, one not only shapes personal experience, but also contributes to the elevation of those around him. Every act of kindness, word of encouragement, and thought of love extends influence far beyond immediate perception, creating ripples of positive effect that return multiplied. Mastery of circumstance is achieved through the persistent control and direction of thought. As the mind becomes disciplined, the individual realizes that he is not at the mercy of events, but is the creator of his experience. By affirming health, abundance, courage, and harmony, he shapes the world to reflect these qualities. Challenges do not cease, but their power diminishes. Obstacles become opportunities to demonstrate mastery, difficulties become stepping stones, and trials serve to awaken latent faculties. External conditions mirror internal states. By changing thought, one changes reality. Positive thought is not an abstract principle, but a practical life to be lived daily. Begin each day with affirmations of strength, courage, and prosperity. Guard the mind against negative intrusions. End each day with gratitude, for gratitude itself is a potent form of constructive thought, attracting more of that which is acknowledged and praised. With persistence, positive thought becomes effortless, habitual, and joyful. Life grows brighter, opportunities multiply, health improves, and relationships flourish. Beyond personal benefit, the individual radiates influence that uplifts all within his sphere. The greatest truth one can grasp is that within thought lies the power to create destiny. The mind is a treasure greater than gold, a force mightier than any external power. Each thought, each word, each act of mental affirmation contributes either to the building or the obstruction of the life one desires. To think positively, to affirm health, abundance, and harmony, to guard the mind and direct it constructively, is to align with the infinite forces of the universe. It is to claim mastery over life, awaken latent faculties, attract opportunity, and manifest joy, prosperity, and peace. Therefore, hold your thoughts with care. Permit only those that are noble, constructive, and uplifting. Affirm daily the qualities you wish to embody and see reflected in life. Radiate strength, love, and harmony to all encountered. Persist in practice, and life will respond faithfully. Thought is power. Use it wisely. Guard it diligently. Direct it with purpose. In doing so, you rise above limitation, overcome obstacles, attract abundance, and realize your full divine potential. Life is not random. It is the reflection of thought, and mastery of thought is mastery of life itself. The student of positive thought discovers that external events are mirrors of inner states. Every circumstance, relationship, and experience responds to the quality of thought maintained within. Therefore, cultivate mind carefully, fill it with noble ideas, guard it against negativity, and affirm daily the highest qualities you wish to manifest. In this practice lies mastery, peace, prosperity, and joy. Thought, rightly directed, is the master key to the universe, the tool by which destiny is shaped, and the source from which all success and happiness flow. In the wide universe of life, man often regards himself as a drifting leaf, carried here and there by winds of fortune, tossed upon the waves of circumstance, subject to the will of destiny. He imagines himself powerless, a creature of chance, and so he accepts conditions as fixed, unchangeable, and beyond his mastery. Yet this belief is the very cause of his weakness. For once he perceives the truth, that thought is the primal force, that mind is the architect of destiny, then he arises from bondage into mastery. Every thought is a seed, and the harvest corresponds to the nature of the seed. If you sow in mind the seed of fear, you cannot reap courage. If you plant doubt, you will not gather confidence. But if you scatter seeds of harmony, strength, and abundance, life responds with fruits of the same kind. This law is no superstition. It is the deepest principle of existence. Thought is not idle vapor. It is substance, force, vibration. It sets in motion currents of energy that shape conditions, influence others, and create realities. Consider the man who dwells constantly upon failure. His step falters, his speech hesitates, his very presence breathes uncertainty. Doors close before him, for his atmosphere repels opportunity. Another man, with the same outward conditions, fixes his thought upon success. He walks with firmness, speaks with confidence, radiates expectancy. Men trust him, circumstances favor him, and opportunity seeks him. The difference lies not in fortune, but in the quality of thought. The law of attraction operates ceaselessly. Like attracts like. Thoughts of one nature draw to themselves conditions, people, and events of similar vibration. Fear attracts the very thing it dreads. Doubt calls forth obstacles. Anger brings strife. But courage, faith, and love draw to themselves health, harmony, and prosperity. This law is impartial. It does not reward nor punish, it simply responds. As you think, so you become. As you believe, so life manifests. The careless thinker objects, but I cannot control my thoughts. They come and go like birds across the sky. Yet the wise student answers, true, you cannot prevent a bird from flying overhead, but you can prevent it from building a nest upon your head. Thoughts may arise, but you need not dwell upon them. You may replace each negative with a positive, each doubt with an affirmation, each fear with an image of strength. With persistence, the mind grows disciplined, and positive thinking becomes habitual, as natural as breathing. Affirmation is the conscious use of thought to direct inner power. When one affirms, I am strong, he awakens forces of strength slumbering within. When he declares, I live in harmony, he tunes himself to vibrations of peace that draw peace to him. Affirmations are not idle words, but commands to the subconscious mind, which faithfully carries them into expression. The careless repeat phrases without conviction and wonder why results fail. But the earnest student speaks with faith, impresses the inner self, and so builds reality from within. Each morning is a new opportunity. Rise with affirmations of strength, health, and abundance. Declare to yourself, I am a child of the infinite. I am guided. I am protected. I am prosperous. Say these words not as empty formulae, but as living truths. Let them sink deeply into your consciousness until they vibrate through your being. Soon, The outer world reflects the inner conviction, and conditions change in harmony with your thought. Positive thinking does not ignore difficulties, nor deny sorrow. It does not close its eyes to fact. Instead, it meets life with a spirit of mastery, affirming that within the soul lies a power greater than any obstacle. To say, "I am strong," does not mean you never felt weakness. It means you call forth strength greater than weakness. To affirm abundance does not mean denying present lack. It means aligning with the source of supply. To affirm peace does not mean pretending conflict is absent. It means invoking harmony more potent than discord. Negativity is but a shadow, powerless in itself. It appears only when the light of thought is obstructed. Therefore, do not wrestle with fear, doubt, or anger. To fight a shadow is to give it substance. Instead, turn toward the light. Replace the negative with its opposite. When fear whispers, answer with courage. When doubt murmurs, declare faith. When resentment stirs, affirm love. Each replacement weakens the old habit and strengthens the new. In time, the garden of mind blooms only with flowers of light. Man is not a solitary island. His thoughts radiate like unseen waves, influencing all within his sphere. A positive mind creates an atmosphere that uplifts. Enter the presence of a cheerful soul and feel your burdens lighten. Stand near one who radiates confidence, and your own strength awakens. Conversely, a gloomy spirit depresses, a fearful presence spreads unease. Thus, by cultivating positive thought, you not only shape your destiny, but bless all around you. This truth carries great responsibility. Every thought is not for yourself alone, but for the world. Each positive idea enriches humanity. Each negative thought impoverishes it. Therefore, discipline your mind not merely for personal gain, but for the uplift of all. By radiating thoughts of love, courage, and harmony, you become a silent healer, a living inspiration, a channel of blessing. Persist, and you shall witness transformation. At first, the practice of positive thought seems laborious, for old habits resist. The mind wanders, fears return, doubts intrude. Yet each effort builds new channels until the current flows smoothly. Soon, positive thought becomes second nature. The face brightens, the step grows firm, the voice rings clear. Others remark, "What has changed in you?" And you know the secret. You have mastered thought, and therefore mastered life. Health, too, responds to thought. Physicians themselves admit the power of mind over body. Fear and worry depress vitality, open the door to disease, and retard recovery. But hope, courage, and faith stimulate healing forces, quicken circulation, strengthen nerves, and restore balance. To dwell upon sickness is to prolong it. To affirm health is to invite it. Let the invalid learn to say, "Life flows through me. Strength renews me. Every cell is charged with vitality." Such affirmations, repeated with faith, awaken inner forces that no medicine alone can supply. Prosperity likewise answers to thought. The man who believes in lack, who fears poverty, who expects failure, shuts the doors of supply. He sees no opportunity, attracts no helpers, and discourages those who would assist him. But the man who affirms abundance, who expects prosperity, who trusts the law of supply, finds doors opening, friends assisting, and circumstances cooperating. His faith draws opportunity as surely as a magnet draws steel. Success, too, begins within. The world crowns not merely the man of ability, but the man of confidence. Countless men of talent fail because they lacked belief in themselves, while men of moderate gifts succeed because they dared to affirm success. The world accepts you at your own valuation. If you think yourself defeated, so will others. If you carry yourself as a victor, others will believe and respond. Therefore, train yourself to think positively in all affairs. When difficulties arise, affirm, "There is a way, and I shall find it." When obstacles appear, declare, Within me is strength greater than any obstacle. When opportunities seem lacking, assert, life is abundant, and supply flows to me. Such thoughts create mental currents that lead to their own fulfillment. Remember always, you are not a creature of circumstance, but a creator of circumstance. You are not the slave of destiny, but its master. Within your mind lies a power that molds conditions, influences others, and shapes your future. Use it wisely. Guard it carefully. Direct it toward the noble and the good. This is the great secret taught by sages of every age, clothed in different symbols, yet expressing the same truth. As you think, so you become. As you believe, so it is done unto you. Hold fast to this principle, apply it faithfully, and your life shall transform from weakness to strength, from lack to abundance, from discord to harmony. Positive thought is not a dream, nor a fanciful hope. It is a law, universal and unfailing. Align yourself with it, and you align with the infinite. Resist it, and you stumble in darkness. The choice is yours, each hour, each day. What thoughts will you cultivate? What seeds will you sow? What harvest will you reap? Let your choice be worthy. Fill your mind with ideas of health, courage, abundance, and love. Affirm daily your unity with the infinite mind. Radiate confidence and kindness to all. In so doing, you become master of yourself, victor over circumstance, and a blessing to mankind. And so, dear student, remember, within your thought lies a treasure greater than gold, a power mightier than kings, a light that no darkness can extinguish. Guard it, use it, and let it shine. For thought is power, and power rightly used leads ever upward, to mastery, to joy, to peace, and to the realization of your divine heritage.